Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Everything Ami. I am Ami, and in this channel we will talk about everything that I love, which includes handbags, beauty products, and much more. I am so excited for today's video, even though I've never done anything like this before. Honestly, it's been quite a year, 2025, and now that it's officially autumn time, my favorite time of the year, I wanted to just do something on my channel to help commemorate, celebrate, welcome this new season. And the best way that I thought to do that would be to tell you about some of the things that are on my autumn 2025 bucket list, and to also show you about the new hobby that I'm trying to get into. So I'll be showing you guys just some of the things I've picked up thus far. I feel like ever since I was a little girl, I've really loved autumn time. Summertime, maybe because of school break, I feel like has always been a very tumultuous, unpredictable time for me. I feel like some of my hardest lessons have been learned in the late spring slash summertime seasons. And autumn for me has always been a time for new beginnings. Like what they say about spring has actually kind of happened for me in the autumn. And while yes, nothing in my life has technically changed, I never underestimate the power of the vibe, the setting, the energy that changes with the season. So I don't know if you guys are into that stuff, but I absolutely am. The first thing that I want to show you guys or talk to you guys about is my autumn 2025 bucket list. If you guys Google autumn bucket list, you'll see a ton of different things online, and I love reading those. I love seeing them. I love when there's animations with them too. I wish I was that creative. But what I did is I read a few of them, and then I thought about the things that I might want to do. Even though I wanted to go crazy and add a ton of things to my list, I also just rather keep it short and hit those points and then add to it than to have this super long, overly ambitious list that I know that I won't hit. Because yeah, I mean, with the autumn time, I also my mood tends to dip a little. As much as I love it, that's just what dealing with depression is like. You just have the highs, you just have the lows, you have to ride them out. So I wanted to have a list that was, I guess, realistic for me to hit and work based on. So my list is in this little notebook. I put a little bookmark here so that I could easily access it. So let me start telling you guys the 7 items that are on my autumn time bucket list for the 2025 season. These items are in no particular order. I just started jotting them. So the very first one is, of course, visit a pumpkin patch. I spent a lot of years not going to them just because I'm I've been to pumpkin patches, they're all the same, it's the same thing every year. However, as I've gotten older, it's well, who cares? You can go with a friend, make a memory, sip on something warm, buy a pumpkin. I feel like there's just something about going to the pumpkin patch and buying a pumpkin, whether even if it's a small one for your desk, that just kind of welcomes the autumn season. So I have not done it in the last few years, and this will probably be my first time since I don't even remember. That's how long it's been. Item number 2, very easy peasy, lemon squeezy, light a fall candle. I love a good Bath and Body Works candle. I have a ton of those 3 wick ones, and as someone who I've mentioned countless times is a bit of a hoarder, has a hard time using their things, was also a shopaholic, I think it will be really good for me to practice lighting a candle and actually using it. Third one is read a book with my friends. I have a cousin that is like a sister to me, and I think back in 2020, 2019, it's been a little while, we read a book together that was I think a Halloween type of book, or it dealt with those kind of topics. I just feel like reading a book with a friend is just such a fun, cozy thing. So we decided that we're going to read a book together this autumn. We already picked it out. She bought it. It was 28 bucks, so I didn't want to buy it. I am going to go to the library though to check it out, which reminds me I have to do that soon. Item number 4, I have also kind of already started doing, and that is wear as many turtlenecks as possible. This is the first one. Item number 5 is very specific to me. It is learn to make mulled wine. When I lived in England, I fell in love with mulled wine. And if you don't really know what it is, the most basic way I could say this is that it's basically warm red wine. It's like you boil it with spices and just like cinnamon and sweeteners, and it's just very perfect for like a nice cold day, especially in England. There was a lot of cold days, and I ended up anyway, like I said, loving it, and I think I want to learn how to make it. That might be like my most overambitious item on my bucket list for this autumn, but I think I could do it. I think I could do it, so I'm gonna do it. If you are not into mulled wine, you can replace this on your bucket list for like, if you like pumpkin spice lattes, having your first pumpkin spice latte of the season. If you don't like pumpkin spice latte, your first hot chocolate with marshmallows. So definitely it could be like picking a drink already that you enjoy and want to have the first one for the season, and wearing some fuzzy socks and your turtleneck and making it an occasion. Like, why not? Life is too short. Make an occasion out of drinking the first warm beverage of the autumn time. And item number 6 is related to item number 5. Watch the rain with someone plus with a warm beverage. So I am not gonna reform myself at 36 years old and start loving the rain. I've never liked the rain, as I mentioned, but that doesn't mean I can't appreciate it with someone, especially someone who enjoys the rain. So I'm gonna make it a point to, hopefully when I learn how to make mulled wine, I can sit down in a friend's garage, sipping our warm beverage and watching the rain. That to me just seems like it would be something really nice to do for autumn 2025. And my 7th and final item on my autumn bucket list will be to start a new hobby. It has been a long time since I've started a new hobby, you guys, although technically I guess YouTube can be considered one of my newish hobbies. Along with that, there is one specific hobby that I'm talking about that I'm gonna like get into now, and that is going to be junk journaling. So junk journaling is something that I just don't know why I didn't start it sooner, you guys. Like, this hobby was made for people like me who hang on to everything pretty much. If I buy a clothing item and there's a cute tag attached to it, I will keep it. If a friend sends me an envelope and it has really pretty stamps on it, I will definitely keep it. I'm a very sentimental person, and I have been this way ever since I was a little girl. And I feel like junk journaling is just something that now I have a place where I can keep all of these little random things that I've acquired in one place. And I'm actually like so excited to do that. If you've not heard of junk journaling before, I am going to link a video in my description box of a YouTuber that I saw doing like an intro to junk journaling that I think is infinitely more helpful than anything I could say to you guys. But I guess in the most basic format, junk journaling is just taking like your junk, like I said, tags that you would have normally thrown out or candy bar wrappers you would have tossed, and keeping them all in one notebook, like gluing them, taping them. And some people get super duper creative with this. Like, I am not the most creative person, but I do admit it's appealing to have a notebook where I can keep all of these things that I've acquired for the past 30 years that I do still have, and then just kind of having them as their own little notebooks instead of all over the place. So what I'm gonna do now in the video is show you some of the supplies that I've purchased so far for my new junk journaling hobby. Like, I'm so excited to do this, like to put an autumn inspired playlist, probably the Gilmore Girls playlist. It's so good, and it screams autumn, of course. And I guess have that playing and then just start junk journaling. I love Michaels. This is obviously not sponsored by Michaels. Michaels does not know who I am yet. I've purchased pretty much all my things there. Oh my god, this isn't even a Michaels bag. Well, anyway, everything in here is from Michaels except the bag. So obviously the first thing that you're going to need to start junk journaling is a journal. Mine is right here. So I thought this journal was so pretty. It's like moon, like it has a moon here. I just thought it was so pretty. This one comes with the composition notebook, 4 gel pens, and 1 chisel tip highlighter. So I thought it was great. This normally was retailing for like $7.99, but I got it on sale for $3.99, and I think as of today it's still on sale. The next thing you're gonna need if you start junk journaling is, of course, a glue stick. You can also use double-sided tape. I do plan on getting some eventually. This one is the disappearing purple. I like being able to see like what parts I'm gluing. So I like that it goes on purple, and then you can just obviously apply it and it's gonna dry clear. This item isn't so much an essential, but it is something that I really wanted to buy. And that is a nice pretty box. I've been buying boxes like this from Michael's for many years, like I want to say for like 10-15 years, and this is the only reason why I bought this particular box, because they're obviously all the same size, so they fit stacked up, and that's how I have them. And you know, having lived in France, this one was a no-brainer for me. But obviously you don't need to go out and buy things for this hobby. Like any old journal you have will do, even an old planner I saw, and I wish I had thought of that, because I do have old planners from like 5 years ago. All of this stuff, like this, you can get an old shoebox and decorate it really pretty, or keep everything in a bag and then just work like that. But again, I wanted to buy this just because. And what I plan to do with it is, this is where I'm going to keep like my old junk. This is where I'm going to keep my glue stick, and some other supplies that I'm going to mention shortly will be going in here. This item is also not an essential, but I really liked it, and it was like totally my vibe, so I had to get it. And that is a paper pad. So this paper pad comes with all these like celestial zodiac looking kind of paper. I was a sucker for anything celestial when I was like a preteen, so I feel like this hobby is speaking not only to like my inner child but my inner teenager. And how I plan to use this will basically be for the background of my journal. So the composition journal, I feel like the pages are going to be too flimsy, so what I plan to do is like take one of these and glue it onto the page so it's a little bit more sturdier, and then obviously start gluing things on top of this too. So this one, I don't remember how much I bought it for. I know that they can go up to like $20, 20 USD, but I think I bought it on sale for like $5.99. It was something like under $10 for sure, and that's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, because $20, I think I'd feel a little bit guilty, especially because I'm not technically supposed to be spending that much. So that it was on sale was perfect. But yeah. And then the last thing that I bought at Michael's was these super pretty, are these stickers? I'm not sure what they are, but they're going to be glued into my notebook. So either way, yeah, either stuck on, glued on, whatever, it's gonna go into my notebook. I just thought they were so pretty. I have such a thing for like vintagey looking things, cheer ups, that kind of stuff. You can see in the back some of the things that are in here. Some of them are kind of creepy. Like I'm not a big fan of eyes, there's like just the eyes, but some of these other things I thought were really good. These next two items were not technically purchased, but technically they were in a way, and that is old magazines. So I cannot believe that I still have this. This is October 2018. I am a big Lady Gaga fan, so I guess that's why I kept it. What I plan to do is I'm gonna, like this would be really pretty stuck on a notebook. Like just take things that I like in here, especially like the writing, or letters I should say, like this, you know. I could write out my own things, like take the S, the C, the K, so I'm going to cut those things out to also spell things out in my journal. I also, maybe if there's like fashion inspo, I might also take that. These boots are actually really cute. So I plan to use old magazines for that purpose, and I guess that's the plus side to being a hoarder now, is getting into this hobby and actually being able to use all the things that I've been hoarding since 2018. Something that I have started doing though is collecting some old junk, which I'm going to show you. I already had some like old things. Like this is from the packaging of a Lights lacquer box. I love nail polish, and Lights lacquer has one of the best, like, I think, packaging out there for nail polish. So this was really cute, so I had already kept that. This is actually the collection. I think it's like bibliophiles. That's so pretty. I've just kept it. I just kept it because it was so pretty, but now I have a place to glue it at. This, or glue it in. This is also from Lights lacquer. I believe in angel numbers, so that's definitely going in there. My cousin had gifted me this really funny like art history potato blind box, and I got the girl with the pearl earring Tato, and she's next to my books, but I thought the card was super cute, so I'm gonna glue that in there. All my Labubu little cards are gonna go in there too. I hung out with a friend over the weekend, and I had told them about how I want to get into junk journaling and all the things that I'm buying and all the things that are on my wish list, and they showed up with the presents, which I was not expecting. And I'm just going to show you guys what's in here real quick, because these are also supplies that will be good for starting off with your junk journaling hobby if you also decide to get into it. Something that you will definitely need if you're going to start junk journaling are scissors. So I wanted 2 different types of scissors. These are actually my mom's, and I wanted something like this for like cutting thicker cardboard, because obviously, you know, that's tougher to cut through. So that's what these are for. But also my very dear friend gifted me these Precise Cutwear Comfort Grip Handle scissors, and it's perfect because you need something kind of smaller, or it's nice to have something finer to cut like around certain things if it's something like more detailed. So I wanted something like this. I had mentioned I wanted it, so they included this in the present that they gave me. And by the way, they purchased everything at Michael's too. This item is related to scissors. It's not a need, it's a want, and I mentioned wanting it, but it was these like edged, like these scissors that have designs to them. I've seen a lot of people just like tear, like it's a certain look, and I might try it, but again, I'm still a little bit of a perfectionist, so I'll eventually build my way into just like tearing the paper and gluing it as is. But until I get to that point, I did want like fun little designs for them. So that's what for like the edges of the paper. So that's what this is for. This friend also knows that I'm a flower lover, so they gave me another paper pad, and this is all like floral in there. This part of the gift that they gave me was like so cool and so like just very thoughtful, and that is stickers of, you know, England, London, where I lived, and France, where I also lived. So these are like perfect. I am so excited to use these, and it was just such a very like sweet, thoughtful gesture that I will be smiling about for months to come. And of course, flower lover, sticker lover, they bought me different like flower stickers. These will be a little tricky to work with, but I'm up to the challenge. And I say tricky because they're obviously like, they're not just flats, but it's okay. We will figure it out. I had mentioned that for some reason, since moving back from Europe, now I really want to see more of the US. So they gave me these like super cool US stickers. That would be pretty cool. Like imagine I dedicate like a state to a spread, like a junk journal spread. So like when I go visit a state, whatever junk I collect from that trip, I could use it to make a dedicated page in my notebook. I think that would be really cool. And more stickers, for more flower stickers. So yes, such a sweet gift, such a generous gift. I'm so excited to start playing around with everything they got me, as well as all the things that I've compiled. And yes, I know that the name like junk journaling, it has the word junk, but I'm in the camp that believes you can also introduce new things into it. It doesn't just have to purely be junk. I don't think that I will be the type to really put in every single piece of junk. It's just whatever junk speaks out to me. Like a lot of those candy wrappers, as I mentioned, they're really cute, they're really pretty. And so yeah, I will probably do that, which is combine junk as well as some new things. And that's the fun thing about junk journaling. There really is like no rules. And whoever tells you that there's rules are just being the junk journal police. Like, it's supposed to be a very creative way to just express yourself, and there really is like no boundaries. You can just do whatever you want, whatever speaks to you, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I think this hobby will be really good for me and my inner child perfectionism. So yeah, I'm so excited to get started. I know this video became very like junk journal topic heavy, but if you're not into it, I would really love to hear what kind of things you want to do for autumn 2025. What are some items in your autumn bucket list? I'm getting tongue-tied now. So what are some items that you, or some things that you want to do for this autumn season? I would really, really, really love to hear that actually. Maybe it will give me some ideas too. I know again that my list is like very basic, but I do plan to add to it. This is just like to start off with. With that said, that is it for today's video, you guys. As always, if you made it this far, thank you so very much for hanging out with me today and listening to me talk about how excited I am about autumn 2025. I really hope that the momentum stays and that I could build on it and that I start junk journaling. If you liked this video and the topics discussed, I would really love it if you could give it a thumbs up down below. And if you're not subscribed to me already, I would really love it if you would consider doing so and joining me on my YouTube journey that I am on. If you haven't seen it before, welcome. Thank you for hanging out. I post every other week on a Thursday, so every 2 weeks on a Thursday. So until then, have a great rest of your day and happy start to the autumn time. Bye, you guys.